Test on one day. India, England, Australia. A plucky big three-side slayer. What a player! What a player!
Welcome back to What a Player Concussion Sub Series. India versus Sri Lanka one-day international series. Sri Lanka finally, after 9 years of struggle, managed to win a one-day international game. To talk about what happened today in the third ODI and the series review, we got Sid and Vishak back into action with us. How are you guys this Friday?
Great, Suman. It would have been nice if India had won it. But doing good.
Okay. So 6 changes with India made. All 6 are debutants. I don't know when this happened last. Were you guys all happy with the 6 entrants? Let's start with that.
Well, first of all, to start with, I think it's a good reason to hit the bottle on the weekend. With this, you just have another excuse. I think I'm kind of aligned with this because I remember Rahul Dravid saying this during his India A days that I always made sure that players got a match. Whosoever came, whether it's a 18 people squad or a 20 people squad, nobody likes to be a passenger. So somewhere I felt that it was long overdue for us to actually try that talent, and that is a reflection of, I think, how Rahul Dravid probably sees the team as a coach. He's willing to take that risk, and obviously nobody likes being a passenger. If you see, it would be a shame not to try a Sakaria today, and so I'm partially okay with that idea. After you have won the series, you should capitalize on your bench strength and to see how they are actually performing. So personally, I thought, okay, we lost. Uh, that's a bet you take. It's like a game in Vegas. You're playing your cards, and sometimes they don't fall right. But personally, if you ask me, this is what all champions teams have done. I remember the formidable Australia after winning their 3 matches in a 5-match series. Fourth match, you would see a series of debutants, and suddenly an unheard name will just pick up a fifer. So I'm personally okay with that. I mean, obviously the result is hard to swallow, and we can get into that later.
Vishak,
For me, I was okay with the 6 changes, but mainly I think in making those changes, we lost the team combination. That is what is important. Because in making those changes, we just strengthened our batting lineup and we forgot that we also need to bowl. And I think we just went in with 3 proper bowlers.
Yes.
I won't consider Krishnappa Gautam as a bowler. He's a bits and pieces kind of batsman and a kind of he bowls little bit, but is not someone who gives you 10 overs regularly. And again, you're counting on Hardik Pandya and Rana to fill up the rest 10. So which means you have gone in with 3 bowlers, and out of which once Navdeep Saini is completely out of sorts. You have seen him over the last 1 year; he has not been performing. So literally, I would say we went in with just 2.5 bowlers. So that is where we lost the match. I think in making those changes, we just lost the team combinations. Had we taken care of the team combination, maybe someone instead of Rana, someone like Krunal Pandya would have played. I think we would have got that extra bowling option. And yeah, definitely we should have you should have proper 5 bowling options in any game. So that's the bowlers need to take wickets and they need to contain the runs. And first of all, you back your batsman to do the job. And I would also say that the batsman failed over there. That's another thing. But at least 225 was a defendable score if you had the bowlers.
Yeah, so let's look at what happened with the start. Fantastic start. 84 for 1 in 10 overs or something? We were on track for 300, 330. And then is it overconfidence? Is Sri Lanka bowling well? How do you summarize it?
Well, I honestly feel, okay, Ajay put on a great point there that, when will Seni become economical? And that's a question I've been asking myself for very long. But to come to Suman's point, I am deeply disappointed in the batting. And I remember Vishak saying that Prithvi is just not converting his starts. And I really feel we need a centurion. If you cannot hit century against this Sri Lankan lineup in a matter of 3 matches, I'm not really sure which team would you go against to hit a century. So somewhere, I know Premdasa is known to be a very difficult pitch to bat on, but obviously, we have seen that our players should be able to convert the starts that we are getting. And Prithvi Shaw, though he played well, and it's like, a classic Prithvi Shaw story. He's playing well, and then you never know when he's gonna get out. Not necessarily to a good ball. Obviously, I feel Manish Pandey is a big letdown for us. He hasn't really proven his worth. And somehow I feel now one thing is very clear, that we have tried too long with Hardik Pandya as that hitting option in the end, because if he's not giving you 10 overs, I'm not sure what was he doing in this match. I know it's a very harsh comment on a very talented cricketer, but he is not the kind of a batsman who will actually provide you a stability in case if you're stuck. So I think our batting flaws came out really big time today. That we are just not able to convert those starts. We I think we need a centurion in these three matches. I mean, with all the talent that's available in India, why are we not able to get a century?
Yeah, I think we we have a good problem to have. The team is there to play an international level in addition to our senior team, but we have problems to deal with on the B team. But couple of key things. I personally felt this series batting was okay. 100% agree that somebody should have gone on to score 100, 150, or 180 with the kind of starts they got. 100% on board with it. But the big weak link on this depth of Indian squad is bowling. That's where I think we are probably looking at a struggle, if not for, because if you minus Bumrah, minus Ishant on the senior side, there is weak link there, and then on the side which is touring Sri Lanka, today we have seen classic, like Vishak said, 2.5 bowlers. We can never win an international game with like that. Uh, but what are the positives for India you will take away from this series?
For me, I think the top order, right? They batted pretty well, so they all look promising. Like all the youngsters, like Shaw, Suryakumar Yadav, Ishan Kishan, all these people look promising. So it's as Sid already mentioned, it's only a problem of not converting. If you see Prithvi Shaw, right, in all the three innings, he was looking pretty good, and in first two matches it was loose dismissals. Today again he was anxious to get his 50, I thought, and he was trying, and even in one shot he played, and he was disappointed on missing out, and that is why I think he went across and he tried to play that flick, and he got out. He was too anxious to get that 50. Maybe if he was not on the cusp of the landmark, he would have played that ball a little different. So
Yeah.
like you should not think about the landmark, just think about the think about playing normal cricket. You will obviously proceed further and get big scores. And other like from the bowling perspective, I felt Rahul Chahar as a very big positive. The way he bowled today, he is one of the biggest positives actually for me.
And I have to give credit to Sri Lanka. After the Mickey Arthur show, you don't need to watch any entertainment channel, and I'm sure some good words were spoken. They must have tried what coaches do, and you knew the Sri Lankan side knew that, okay, there are six debutants, and let's just grab it. This is our only chance here. So somewhere I felt that they were primed to win this match. Somehow you just feel that you have nothing to lose. You play your natural game. For me, the biggest standout has been that. Sky, Suryakumar Yadav, people have thought that he is not fit for 50. I still feel that, Sky needs to perform better than this. Uh, I mean, a Sky 77 is a great trademark to have, but a Sky 100 is what we need in our ODI tournament. Obviously, I am a big Sakaria fan. The whole reason why I'm a Sakaria fan is a swing bowler has a longer timeline than an out and out fast bowler. So they need to be nurtured. You have James Henderson and Glenn McGrath. Who were exponents of seam and swing, not the fastest. Um, I felt Krunal Pandya provided that balance beautifully. And the biggest letdown for me has been Hardik Pandya, because I really doubt that he deserves a place with this. He's been given too many chances, I feel, and I feel when the game is not naturally on his side, which is very attacking, when you have to defend, when you just have to, gut it out, I think he fails miserably there. So I feel that. And the other positive that I have is Bhuvi. Bhuvi back in form is what we all want, especially with those English conditions. So these are the positives I could find in the series. And somewhere, uh, I hope Ravi Shastri makes a note of this approach, that you should try your bench strength. They should not be taken on their IPL performances. You should try your bench strength and see how they actually do in a match temperament situation. This is what made, great coaches, that they always had a lot, point of putting that I think Kirsten had it for the longest time. We'll just put one player in the match, and I feel we don't test our bench strength enough. So I feel that somewhere we make notes of that.
It's a great point because, mind you, as much as we are critical and disappointed, we lost the game. We won the series 2-1. So, and the first two games were decent. And even in this game, if he had 20 runs more than what they scored, this game was ours because the pressure was back on with a couple of wickets. The inexperience was kicking in from Sri Lanka. So it's a super point that, yeah, in a process you'll lose games, but you'll at least now get a combination right of getting the 6 debutants. Their confidence will be high. Suryakumar Yadav, who was struggling to fit into 11, got 3 games back to back. Hopefully he'll learn out of it. That's a huge positive that he belongs here. Now it's just a matter of how does he now uh, compensate on losing out on big scores. I think all good players start like that. So hopefully we do it. But bowling still is an area of concern according to me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Definitely, bowling is an area of concern. Mainly, I think the fast bowling, because we don't have enough fast bowlers. Mainly in the limited overs, if you see, we are not able to pick wickets at the start. That is a big problem, as I mentioned in the first game as well. And second, if you all the 3 games, the first wicket was picked by the first change bowler, not the opening bowler. So the opening bowlers are struggling to take wickets, initial wickets, and we average pretty poor over there. And again, our death bowling, as I always already mentioned in the first game as well, Bumrah looks the only death bowler for us, and Shami to a certain extent, but Shami can also be hit. But rest of them can be hit easily. If you see Bhuvneshwar Kumar, he's still developing. He was a good death bowler a couple of 2 or 3 years back, but he has lost some pace now, and he doesn't look the same potent death bowler now. So I think death bowling is definitely a concern. I think spinners wise we are doing pretty well. I think we have quite a pool of spinners. I think the middle overs we are doing pretty well. But one other thing which we are lacking is a seam bowling all rounder who can give you around 7 to 8 bowlers. We banked a lot on Hardik Pandya, overutilized him. He got injured, and now he's not the same player anymore. So I think it's time, as Sid already mentioned, it's time to look beyond them. We have to nurture someone like Shardul Thakur, who's doing pretty well. Maybe you can improve. He can improve his. If he can improve his batting a little bit, he can be nurtured as a good all-rounder.
oh, big call. We should look beyond Hardik Pandya. Wow. It probably might be true because today I could see when he was bowling, he was just coming and dropping the ball outside the off stump. There is no intent of getting the wickets. Even while fielding, I don't see that kick in Hardik Pandya. Not sure. Hopefully he's fit, but we will see. We'll see. But Sanjay coming back at our point, saying that the team itself is our bench tested. Do we really need to check more players out? We do need to. If you have taken the squad to a tour, it is only fair that we give them chances to at least get one match. So I think that is fair. And Ajay PK keeps posting comments like a formal update. Please, at the end of every comment he's posting, which is fine. And some RCB comments coming through. Devdutt Padikkal should have got a chance in one day. What do you guys think?
I think yes, because if you see his people have gone by his T20 record, but actually if you see his domestic record, his ODI, his list A record is better than his T20 record actually. And he even in the recently concluded Vijay Hazare series, he was a top scorer until the semi-finals, and Prithvi actually overtook him in the finals. So, and he also scored 3 centuries, and he has been performing consistently in domestic over the last 3 years. So definitely, and in the list A format, he has been pretty consistent. So I think he definitely deserved a chance, but many people consider him as a T20 specialist, which I don't think he has performed that well in T20 as well. But in this day, he has. Not only you, Suman, there are quite a few people who actually have that opinion. But I feel he is a better 50 overs player than I think one of Shaw or somebody. Shaw or Dhawan could have sat out, and he could have got a chance, and we could have played an extra bowler instead of Nitish Rana. Playing Nitish Rana and playing him at 7 did not make any sense to me. He is a top order batsman and he has to bat in the top 4. Your number 7 should be someone who has to be a utility cricketer who gives you something with the ball and can accelerate at the depth. And Nitish Rana is not that kind of a cricketer. So I think we could. That's why I mentioned we could have played someone like a Krunal Pandya who did pretty well in the first 2 games at number 7 instead of Nitish Rana, and we could have replaced one of the openers with DDP.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was watching, cringing watching Devon Conway, and I don't know, we are missing an opener. World cricket is missing an opener. I feel, there aren't any good opening pairs right now that you could think of, really. And I think Devdutt Padikkal, because I've followed him on his Ranji career a lot, and he has that technique. We need one boring batsman who can actually just rotate. We don't need those big shots and then those beautiful drives. Though he's a treat to the eye, but our entire batting lineup was missing that one batsman who can just hold it together for you, that sheet anchor role. And I feel DDP fits perfectly there. And even I think that is an issue even with the larger team as well. That barring our greats, I think we need a sheet anchor kind of a batsman, and DDP provides that to the team.
Okay.
I think in this team, one guy was picked to do that, and he did not do it. It's Manish Pandey.
So I think 2 big negatives for us, I think, have been Pandya and Pandey. Incidentally, it's the same surname, pretty much the same surname. I reckon that's probably because when you look at both of them, they've literally dried out their chances. I don't think we can provide Manish Pandey any more chances than this. Just based on his IPL exploits alone, you cannot do it. And same goes for Hardik Pandya. If he's not a 10-over bowler, and that's a question I actually posed myself. In one-day cricket to win, you need a bowling lineup that can bowl 60 plus overs. And if Hardik is not bowling those 10 overs, where are the rest of the bowling overs gonna come from? And it was a very difficult question to answer even on the sheet. And we actually had 40 overs with us.
Yeah, poor old Manish Pandey. Hopefully he sees through the value of India trusting him. I'm actually glad he got back-to-back 3 games, right? So that he at least can feel that he got a decent enough run as opposed to 1 game dropped or 1 game benched, etc. Good question coming through from Ajay PK. From this B squad, Sky will make it, no questions. But who do you think can make it to the senior 11?
Other than Sky, I think Rahul Chahar. Rahul Chahar is definitely a bright prospect. He can be a good spinner. I think he can be a decent bat as well. Who can? He's not a big hitter or something, but he can maneuver the strike and take those singles, and he can just play a decent role in the depth as well. And I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar, we all know, he belongs to the senior side, so I wouldn't call him a B side player. And yeah, if you have to think beyond that, I think Ishan Kishan looked pretty good. I think he can be in the squad for a T20 World Cup. I think because every team will be carrying around a 20 to 25 member squad. I think he is one of them. Prithvi Shaw, I think, can be looked if he can convert those scores. I think if at least for the T20Is, we can look out for him, but not in the ODIs for now.
With moving ball, it's rough for Prithvi Shaw. I think subcontinent wickets he can, but if facing Josh Hazelwood, Mitchell Stark, Shaw will struggle. What about somebody like Sanju Samson? We have a problem in the keeping area, which is a good problem. 4 keepers: Saha, Rishabh Pant, 5 keepers actually: Saha, KL, Rishabh Pant, Ishan Kishan, and Sanju. Who will you take for T20? Somebody is bound to be heartbroken this year.
Saha is definitely not going. He is a proper test wicket keeper. So, and he is not finding his place in the test side as well, if you see. because Pant has definitely pipped him. If you look at the other four, I think Rahul is definitely a certainty. He is bound to bat in the middle order, I think. So even if he's not a keeper, he'll play as a proper batsman. Pant will be the wicket keeper. I think one of Ishan Kishan or Sanju Samson would be, like it would depend on the IPL performances, I guess. So whoever does better, I think would go on that plane.
So we all know Sanju will lose out. No Godfather.
Could be.
I'm not. I mean, I'm a big Sanju Samson fan. I like Ishan Kishan, and I know he's brilliant with the bat and keeping as well. But Sanju has been around for so many years. He's like that story I remember of Samir Dighe, that great keeper who never made it for India. And I just somewhere feel that Sanju needs to stop choking and just deliver it on the big stage because he has the talent. When you see him hitting those runs in the first 5 matches of IPL, and then he suddenly forgets. I don't know who walks into the pitch, his twin brother who never picked up a bat, or whoever comes back to the pitch. So my heart goes for Sanju, that Sanju should play, but obviously we know if a choice comes between Ishan and Sanju, it's going to be Ishan.
Yeah.
But one more thing I feel is Sanju Samson is a little bit. I think he needs to improve a little bit on the keeping side as well. If you see a little bit on the keeping today, he was not covering up. He was actually for a leg spinner. He was going outside the off stump rather than for a left-hander instead of actually covering up on the leg side. And he missed quite a few buys as well. I think if you see Ishan Kishan, he was pretty impressive in the first 2 games. That is where I think people would notice and pick Ishan Kishan because he was good with the keeping as well. And your keeper's primary job is also to keep, not only to bat. Keep well and take catches and prevent those buys. If you're not doing that, then it's a big concern. So I think Sanju has to improve on that keeping part.
Yeah. All in all, good one-day series. I mean, yeah, we lost the last game. We should not have. 30, 40 run shots, missed catches, and a couple of bowlers short. Hopefully, it's a learning. Going into T20 internationals, 3 of them. What's our prediction, Sid?
India should win. I mean, there is. I'm expecting drama, obviously, and that's good for the game. You just can't. I mean, if this entire series was like the first match, who would watch that series? What makes this series great is second match. We almost lost it. We must have switched on off our televisions, and suddenly, okay, we won. And even today, if you see, there was this very good fighting spirit. Suddenly you saw that fall of wickets. So I am expecting India to win and win really well because of the IPL exposure. T20 is our game. I feel it's only West Indians and Indians who are really good at it now.
Yeah. Isha?
I would expect us to win, but again, if we experiment too much, like how we did, we might lose out on one game. But I definitely expect to win the series at least. It would be happy to take. I would be happy to go with a 5-1 overall series rather than a 4-2 or something.
Okay. And, quite a few comments. I'm just catching up. Hasaranga, from a Sri Lanka point of view, will be the key for Sri Lanka. What are the thoughts there? Will he make a difference for Lanka?
I think Hasaranga and Akila Dananjaya both will be crucial. If you see, because Lakshin Sandakan looked completely out of sorts in the 2 games he played. I think if they had played Akila Dananjaya from the start, if you see, Akila Dananjaya has done pretty well in the T20As as well recently. He took a hat-trick and he was tonked for 6 sixes. That's a different thing. But he has been doing pretty well on the T20I circuits as well, wherever he has played. He and Hasaranga have been the key wicket takers for Sri Lanka in the middle overs, and they have been containing them as well. Wherever, if you see over the last 1 year, I think these two will be pretty crucial. And I've noticed one chink in the recent last 7-8 years in the Indian batting lineup. Somehow we don't play spin pretty well, especially the ball which is going away, like whether it's coming in or going away. Maybe I thought it was only off-spin which we used to struggle because we have had a tendency of giving lots of wickets to off-spinners. Now I think we are also struggling against the ball going away as well. So somehow we have become poor players of spin over the last 7 to 8 years. So if those two can bowl pretty well, it will be an interesting series.
Yeah. And Shanaka, I agree with Syed, he seems like leadership material. but he needs to be groomed well. Right now, I feel Mickey Arthur is bullying him a little bit. I know, I know it looks bad, but guy like Shankar needs to be given a little bit of a long rope. Give his decision making. He'll come through. He's one for long. Uh, and couple of more comments coming through. Shikhar Dhawan, what about his captaincy? How impressed are you, or what else can you want to see from his captaincy?
I I would go by what Vishak said in the first match is we can only test the captaincy when going gets tough, and today it got tough. And obviously there is this flaw that we didn't have enough bowlers on the board, and it just showed. But I feel tactically he needs to do better. Maybe and that's why Shanaka outshined him in a lot of departments. Also, I'm not sure, but I was just drawing parallels with other teams where batsmen are aware that I don't have a good batting order after number five. Batsmen take responsibility. They at least don't get out, and I feel that Dhawan needs to do that by example. I
Hmm.
know his game is free flowing and whatnot, but that's what you do when you become a captain. You change your game. I mean, from old timers, I saw Graham Gooch doing that. Moment he became a captain, he was the most boring batsman to watch. So I feel that somewhere he should have led by example, and I don't think right now he got tested enough. And whenever he got tested, I mean, a Chahar winning a match for you is not showing great captaincy. It's a great individual contributor role which is actually coming across. And today was one of those matches where you were not able to shuffle your cards well. So not a big fan of Dhawan right now.
And even today, I think he delayed bringing on Chahar for that second or third spell, a third spell mainly, and he delayed it. He bought him so late that the match was already gone. So
Yeah.
had he gotten, so I think with those two wickets which he picked at the end wouldn't didn't make any difference. It's just that it made it look like instead of win by 4 or 5, 5 or 6 wickets, it made it look like they win by 3 wickets. That's it. The match was almost a foregone conclusion at that point of time.
Yes.
That's true. No, I'm just laughing with Ajay PK's commentary. He keeps bringing his manager into mix every single time we talk cricket. Uh, and is this really true? What he's saying, Ajay PK, Dhawan winning the toss and high thigh celebration. Anybody
Yeah,
saw?
he did a tie five celebration. They won the toss, and that was quite funny.
That's the
Oh,
Dhawan you love, right? I mean,
character.
I mean, we can talk about his tactical side of the game and everything apart from that, but what a lovely character,
Yeah,
He's like our Indian Chris Gayle there. You love to see him on the ground.
it is absolute character. And Santosh asked another good question. One country, two teams. Can we expect this to continue? First question. And then second, will other countries follow suit? I think we are seeing that with Australia. I think India picked it up from Australia, to be frank. But what do you think? India should continue with this?
I think India were left with no choice here actually because the senior team is in England, and since the series was set up, if it was not a COVID scenario, I think the same team would have travelled back to Sri Lanka and come back to England again. So since
Yes.
it's because of the COVID situation, I think they did this. But otherwise, I don't. But now that COVID has forced teams to do that, I think more teams will start doing it. And they will also test their bench strength and see what are the best. Because I think teams have to go with a 20-25 member squad now, considering the COVID situation, rather than a 15-member squad. So teams will be looking to test a lot of players, and they will have more than one squads ready.
Okay. Great stuff. So Syed predicts 2-1 Sri Lanka if the top order fails for India as a T20. So yeah, the T20 is a luck by chance game. So we will see. We will see how that comes through. It was enjoyable. There's a lot of cricket happening across the globe. Sri Lanka are also coming through. Hopefully, they learned quite a lot from India series. Playing India for them today should give them a lot of confidence going into the T20 series, and also probably if they do well, even if they win one game in the T20 internationals, that should set them up for the World Cup squad. Excellent. Vishak said thanks very much, as usual, on a Friday evening for making time. It's unfortunate that India lost the game, but hey, there's more cricket coming up. There is 100. There is a lot of other series going on, and the best part is Zimbabwe beat Bangladesh. So let's all be happy with that.
Yeah, and they made the series interesting. So the third match is going to be a decider. So let's hope it'll be a good cracking game there.
Awesome. And for the folks who joined in on live, putting comments, thank you so much, Syed, Ajay, Sanjay, Santosh, as usual, for your engagement. Really appreciate it. And until next game and next series, see you later. Thank you, Sid and Vishak.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Stay safe.
Have a good weekend.